Okay, so I had the privilege to take a look at the Supreme Court case of Wisconsin versus, I think it's Yoder. I honestly am not super sure. Okay, so some case facts. This case happened actually a long, long time ago, May 15, 1972. And it involved three families, and specifically the three fathers of the family were like the key people in the case. So it was Jonas Yoder and Wallace Miller, and these two fathers were a part of the Old Order Amish religion. And then there's Edin Yadzi, not sure if I'm saying any of this right, but and he was a member of the conservative Amish Mennonite Church. So, according to Wisconsin law, it is required that children under the age of 16 need to attend public school. So, in Wisconsin, that would mean that you need to send your children to public school for freshman and sophomore year of high school. So at least another 2 years after eighth grade year. So the three parents that were named above, the three fathers, refused to send their children to these first 2 years of high school following eighth grade year, according to their religious beliefs. So it went against their Amish beliefs to send their children to public school past eighth grade. So why did it go to court? The big question is, um, it went to court because the fathers believed that it was violating the First Amendment right. So the big question was, is it violating the First Amendment to criminalize the parent's decision due to religious reasoning? Okay, so Yoder's side, so basically the three fathers' side, that it went against the religious beliefs of the family. Like I'd mentioned before, they grew up with the belief that school attendance after the eighth grade year went against their religious beliefs. And they also argued that it's not like they're going to not be receiving any education. They would still be receiving an education, just an alternative vocational education. It didn't look the same as the kind of education that the Wisconsin state wanted them to have. So Wisconsin state side, they wanted to compel the interests of sending all children towards a high school education. They wanted to encourage and create outstanding citizens by making it a law to send them to high school. They believe that every child should receive a public education through 12th grade, which is why they at least made the law under 16. So they at least had to go to high school. You'd hope that they would get into high school and they'd just keep going. So the Supreme Court decision, so according to and under the First Amendment, the decision was that the interests of the parents, or I guess the one parent, Yoder, outweighed the interests of the state of Wisconsin. The court saw a conflict with the fundamentals, values, and like beliefs of the secondary school that they were supposed to send their children to did not compare to the fundamental values and beliefs of the family and the families involved. It was decided that no benefit would be produced either. It's like I said before, it's not like they would not be receiving an education. It just looks like a different education because of their religious beliefs. So, according to some facts that I read about, Justice William O. Douglas had partial dissent, and he joined the majority. And then Justice Lewis Powell and William Rehnquist had no decision within the case. But it was ruled 7-0, and it was ruled unconstitutional. So Yoder won the case. And then these are just my two sources. So just like a summary recap, it is a pretty basic case, but it's something that is pretty unusual. It doesn't surprise me that this took place in Wisconsin because there are a lot of Amish people in Wisconsin, and as you can tell, it was a long time ago back here. It was in 1972, and I feel like this is one of one of like prime example of how you see conflict between religious beliefs and schooling. So I found the case to be really interesting, especially since I'm going to be an elementary education major, so I'm going to be a teacher, and I'm going to see like different conflicts of religion and belief. So I thought it was an interesting case. So thanks to everyone who watches.